All right, welcome back, YouTubers. This is In the Northwest Native News. I am Margo Hill. Oh,
Hey.
hey, I'm just kidding. I'm Jeff Ferguson.
And I'm your co-host, Margo Hill.
And I'm Margo Hill. Hey. So, it is another great day to be Indigenous. We're happy that you're here. Happy Friday. We got all sorts of things coming up this weekend, and one of them is a little March Madness. Go Zags! It's not often we get somebody in the Final Four from the area, so it's kind of cool to see that happen. We're hoping that they can make it all the way. So, how you doing?
It's also Easter weekend.
It is Easter weekend, so yeah.
So, got to start whipping up those family meals.
Yeah.
And be ready for Sunday.
Coloring some eggs. Yeah. So anyhow, we have quite a few stories to cover today, and so we're going to kind of keep the ball moving. But first of all, we did want to say we got few shout outs here. We had some new subscribers, and the new subscribers are Stevie Watson, Desiree Wheeler, Cecil Epinet, NASCAR Oxy, Cindy Santee, and Hugh Waltman. Thanks for subscribing. We're up over 500 subscribers now, working our way up to 1,000. We really appreciate you checking us out. We are coming every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 8:30, and we just appreciate you being here. We're covering news and events for 11 tribes of the Inland Northwest, as far west as the what? Colville. As far west as the Colville, as far east as the Blackfeet, down south to the Umatilla and Warm Springs, up north to the Kootenai and Kalispel, with the Spokanes, the Nimipu, and Coeur d'Alenes. So, and I think I almost forgot the Yakamas, but I think I got them all. So, anyhow, that's the kind of stuff that we're doing. We're covering news and events on a local, regional, and national level. And so we just want to kind of keep you informed, fill that gap that mainstream media has missed for so long. And we've covered some great stories this year already. We covered Wistalk's Way name change out there in front of Spokane Falls Community College. We covered Deb Holland and her climb to the Interior Secretary, or the Department of Interior Secretary. We covered some basketball, just a bunch of different things. So that's kind of give you an idea of what we've been doing here. We have a announcement real quickly from the Spokane Tribal Hatchery. We're going to kind of get this going with that. And the Spokane Tribal Hatchery, Reservation Lakes, and Spokane Arm Fish Planting reports between April and June 2021, Spokane Tribal Hatchery will be releasing 3,000 rainbow trout bigger than 2 pounds each in Reservation Lakes, 2,000 rainbow trout bigger than 2 pounds in Spokane Arm of Lake Roosevelt from the Little Falls Dam Fish Acclimation and Release Facility. 40,000 rainbow trout bigger than 1 pound each in the Spokane Arm of Lake Roosevelt from Little Falls Dam Fish Acclimation and Release Facility. And fish release is the week of March 29th to April. I guess it just says April 2021. Include 1,500 rainbow released below Little Falls, 500 rainbow trout in Turtle Lake, Benjamin, and McCoy's. Updates will be posted on the Spokane Tribal Fish Hatchery Facebook page and shared with Spokane Tribal Facebook site. Take a kid, elder, parent, friend, pet, wife, husband, shack-in-law. It says shack-in-law.
It does not. It does.
It does say shack-in-law. All right, take them all fishing. So, please keep our lakes and fishing areas clean. Report vandalism or improper use to PSB, Tribal Park Ranger, law enforcement. Also, fishing derby to be posted soon, so you want to keep an eye out for that. Thank you for sharing that with us, Spokane Fish Hatchery. So, and quick shout out Tim Pion and all of them out there. Yeah. So anyhow, moving right along. Our next story, is this next one yours? Oh, that one was yours. Man, I'm so sorry. I feel bad. I still have a full cup of coffee here. You can't even believe it. It's like I already have my caffeine fix for the day. Huh? All right. So. Do you want to take this next one, or do you want me to finish up with it? Well, how about we alternate, because these are some good alternate ones. How's that?
Is it the MMIW?
It is the MMIW.
Okay. So we have some notices regarding missing and murdered Indigenous women. We want to bring your attention to Kiana Klomp. Kiana, it's unknown exactly which clothing she was wearing when she left her residence. And from Post Falls.
Yeah, from last seen at residence in Post Falls on March 22nd around 1:30 a.m. It's unknown what clothing Kiana was wearing when she left the residence. Kiana has longer than shoulder-length black hair, and her nose and ears are pierced. If you've seen her, please contact the Post Falls Police at 208-773-3517 and reference 20PF07347, or call your local law enforcement agency. We're going to leave links to these notifications on our Facebook page. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the comment section below, or if you are watching live, you can chime in. So the next one that we have, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Are those pictures showing on the screen?
The first one should have been, yeah. Let's double check to make sure. We'll show that right again.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Kiana Klomp out of Post Falls, and she's been missing since March 22nd. Okay. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. And Janice Richards, missing since February 24th, 2021. And this she's a young one. She's 16 years of age. Do we have flyers on those ones?
I don't have a flyer on that one.
Okay, well, she's 16 years of old, 5'2", last seen at gosh, I can't even hardly read that. See if I can get a better image so I can read that better, because we want to make sure to get the information right. Janice, here we go. 16 years old, 5'2", last seen in Utqiagvik, Alaska, wearing purple jacket, camo hoodie, and camo pants. Please contact the NSB Emergency Services at 852-6111. So you may be asking yourself, why are they running MMIW out of Alaska in the inland Northwest? And that is because we are one of the highest trafficking areas in the country. And there's all sorts of people that have come through here from back east in Minneapolis area, women from the southwestern reses, and so for someone to come out of Alaska would not be unheard of. So
yeah, some of our major cities have trafficking hubs, and Spokane is one of those. People traveling the I-90 corridor, coming in from Seattle, and of course Seattle corridor goes up to Alaska. So we're looking out for our Alaskan Native sisters as well.
Yeah, so we have one more here, and this is Danielle Edmo, Idaho Missing Persons Clearinghouse. This little gal here, 15 years old, last contact January 20th of 2021. Pocatello, Idaho, Danielle Lauren Edmo. If you see this gal, be sure to contact them. These have also, if you notice across the top, I'm going to run this picture. Yeah. Oh, put it back up there. Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women USA Facebook page. Again, that's Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's Facebook page. There's a couple of different ones out there. That's what this one came off of, but it's MMIW has one, and Missing and Murdered Indigenous Men, and I think there's one that's men and women too. So definitely keep an eye out for those gals. Mm-hmm. So
we'll take a turn. Native Soul Cuisine pops up in Seattle, Georgetown neighborhood. So we're excited to share. This story is from Naomi Tomke, special to the Seattle Post-Intelligencer. We see Chef Jeremy Thunderbird of Native Soul Cuisine. So he's studying history at Seattle University, and this led student Thunderbird to apply his own education to that of his schooling and from his family. Go ahead.
Yeah, in different ways by cooking the food that he ate growing up. He calls both his business and the genre of food he makes native soul food. And this Saturday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., the private chef and caterer is branching out into one of his rare public events with a pop-up machine house with a pop-up at Machine House Brewing in Georgetown. So that one's over there in Seattle. We'll leave the information in the comment section below. Again, like Margo said, this one come out of the Seattle PI, but that looks really good, whatever he's carrying there. I want to take
So the menu includes blue corn jerk chicken, tamales,
wow,
smoked salmon, mac and cheese. Oh my gosh, mutton bone broth stew. It's the hearty stuff I ate growing up, explains Thunderbird. We might have to take a road trip and check that out.
Blue corn jerk chicken tamales. That sounds really good. And the smoked salmon mac and cheese. That sounds really good too. You know, gosh, I mean, it sounds like it's worth the trip. Yeah. Holy cow. I haven't heard of that, the blue corn jerk chicken tamales, but that sounds really good. So we better keep moving along. I know we have a few more stories that we want to get through. The next one is, oh, you want to take this one?
The Washington state names first Indigenous state poet laureate. Raina Priest, a Bellingham resident and member of the Lummi Nation, is the new Washington state poet laureate. She has a number of collections, including Patriarchy Blues, which won an American Book Award. You know, her first day, you know, of National Poetry Month, Washington State new poet laureate has been announced. Bellingham resident, as I said, Raina Priest. She had a number of works, including Patriarch Blues. She's from the Lummi Nation. It's the first Indigenous person to hold this position. Her term begins April 15th. She's a graduate of Western Washington University, got a BA. She has her BA in English and Sarah Lawrence College, Master's in Fine Arts. In writing, Priest has received Allied Arts Foundation 2020 Professorial Poets Award, I think, Professional Poets Award, and fellowships from Hawthorne, Castle, Hedgebrook, Minier School. Just amazing accolades. She's taught cultural studies and Native American literature at Western Washington University and Northwest Indian College. And again, it's amazing. She's got some poetry collections, Sublime, Subliminal. That's her most recent. She has a lot of goals during her term, according to the news release. She's going to be celebrating poetry at Washington's tribal communities. So she'll use poetry to increase appreciation of the natural world and the threats facing it. So shout out to Miss Priest, Washington State's Poet Laureate.
All right, shout out. Yeah, how exciting is that? That's pretty cool. She'll be covering the indigenous communities in her work, and I'm sure she'll be making the rounds. 29 tribes in Washington State. I'm bound to hit some of the reservations, I'm sure. So, especially the Lummi. Anyhow, so moving right along, we have another story here that we want to share with you. This is Spokane Public Library. I thought this was a really cool. But you know, I think we have an announcement really quickly. We have Ric. This is really cool. Let's talk about Ric, because Ric Gendron has got a show coming up here in Spokane, and this is at the Barrister. If you've never been down to the Barrister, it's a beautiful place, but I've got a few shots of some of the stuff he posted on Facebook page. He's got his work coming out, and it is really exciting because we haven't seen a whole lot of work from Ric over the last year or so. So to be able to get out and see it, I did hear that his work during the show for the opening, so there's an opening tonight, but you need tickets for it. But the Barrister Winery is open Monday through Friday. It's all open throughout the week, and you can go in there during the week, and his work will be up all through the month of April. So that one right there is really cool. It's exciting to see Ric getting out and about again. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities for shows because of COVID. He's got beautiful work. He's got a great following. You know, a very talented Colville artist. And he'll be showing with another awesome artist, Melissa Cole. If you haven't seen Melissa Cole is a local Spokane artist who did some amazing work. She did a really great pictorial history of the Spokane River, and it's on display if you've never been down there at the Spark Central down there in Kendall Yards. If you get a chance to duck in there, see Melissa Cole's work, also, she'll be showing at the Barrister Winery. Their phone number is 465-3591 if you want to find out about them. They're open daily from noon to 7, Sunday through Thursday, and Friday and Saturday from noon to 9. They're located at 1213 West Railroad Avenue in Spokane, Washington. Again, that's 1213 West Railroad Avenue, Spokane, Washington. It's a neat building. You got a great chance to get out and see some of Ric's beautiful work. He's been working on some of it. I don't know that it's all been shown before. Some of this might be the first show for it. So, but anyhow, that's kind of the gist on Ric. Moving right along, we have.
So Eastern Washington University has Get Lit, and we have an Indigenous section of that. It's a little bit down the road, so mark your calendars for April 12th at 7 p.m. This is going to be virtual and an online event. You can register through Get Lit on Facebook. So Indigenous, we the Indigenous have teamed up to bring you readings of 4 authors whose work ranges from poetic prose to personal essays that utilize experimental form. We the Indigenous is a virtual reading series celebrating Indigenous authors from the Pacific Northwest and Southwest. D.A. Navati, one of those authors, will be reading from their recent award-winning works showcasing Indigenous literary talents and voices. Following the readings of D.A. Navati, will lead the group of short discussion about their creative work. So again, we're real excited about that. You can register for it on Facebook. It's an online event. It's going to be Monday, April 12th at 7 p.m.
All right, so that'll be pretty cool. Speaking of reading, we have Spokane Public Library, formally acknowledged Spokane Tribal History and Land by Adam Shanks. This one ran out of the Spokesman Review, April 1st. Each Spokane Public Library branch will soon display a formal acknowledgement that it stands on ancestral lands of the Spokane Tribe of Indians. The library announced Tuesday that it is partnered with the tribe to craft the land acknowledgement, which offers gratitude to the land, river, and peoples who have been fishing, hunting, harvesting, and gathering here for generations. May we learn from one another's stories so that we may nurture the relationship of the people of the Spokane tribe and to also those who share this land, the statement reads. The library also committed to naming the third floor hall of its downtown branch, which is currently under renovation in honor of the Spokane tribe. The name, can you say that? Can you read that?
It's a derivation of the river. Intuet is the word for a river. I'm not exactly sure. It's one of the names that we have for the Spokane River.
Yeah, one of the traditional names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's cool that they're doing that. The third floor is really kind of the best floor. Mm-hmm. And the third floor hall is kind of the best view of the river. And it'll be right there overlooking the falls. That's a beautiful spot, and it's really neat that they're doing that. You know, there's been a big movement for land acknowledgements all across the country in a variety of different ways. That's just one of them, and it's about darn time. So what do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. The library is located right across from one of our traditional sites along the Spokane River where we fished and we dried salmon. In fact, your culture, the culture and art display that you and Smoker completed with the animal people and the photo panel is there overlooking the river. So I think it's a great location and about time.
Yeah,
I'm real excited about that.
Shout out to Smoker, man. I hope you're doing good, brother. Anyhow, moving right along. Land acknowledgments. I heard that they do it. So I got a call from Jackson Driscoll. He's down there in Oaktown, down outside of Oakland, or actually inside of Oakland. He's down there, and they were doing some type of gathering down there, and he chimed in to me and asked if we had some. He asked on Facebook Messenger if there was some type of protocol or something, because he wanted to do a land acknowledgement down there. And so I kind of gave him some of the gist of it and how important it is. You know, land acknowledgements, I think, are so important. I don't always necessarily think they have to be really super formal. I think an informal land acknowledgement, that one that comes from the heart, I think is just as good, if not even more powerful than a formal land acknowledgement, because that says that you really acknowledge, you know, the people of the area, you know, the indigenous communities of the land that you're on, and you're not just reading from a script. You know, when you do that and you take it and bring it from the heart, I think that's really important. So I think anytime we can get the land acknowledgements going, I think that's great. One of the ideas that I had was hoping, and I discussed this a little bit with our tribal council, and I'm hoping to get a little more traction to it, but going in and out of all of the cities and towns throughout Washington State, I'd like to see little sign added when you, for instance, when you come into Spokane, it says, "Welcome to Spokane." And I'd like to see a little sign added along the bottom, "The ancestral homelands of the Spokane tribe." So like when you go into Seattle, it would say, "Welcome to Seattle, the ancestral homelands of the Duwamish tribe," or the Lower Elwha in Port Angeles, or wherever, you know. But through all of the cities and townships throughout the Washington State, I think that would be really something cool. Then everybody would know as they're going in whose ancestral lands that they're on. So anyhow, hopefully we'll get a little bit more traction. It's just a dream of mine, you know. I don't know. I might be way off, but I think that would be super cool.
I'm getting a text in here from Mel Tunaskett.
Oh.
He just says, "Good morning." We exchanged pictures and stuff like that. It was 2 years ago that Mel was awarded the Tim Wapto Sovereign Warrior Award at NIGA. Mm-hmm. And so we just say thank you to Mel Tunaskett for his many years of service to Indian country, and we honor Mel.
I should bust that out, because I got that ceremony while we were down there. I got that on video. I should bust that out and show that. Yeah. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder. We'll have to do that. That's cool. So we have one more story here, and I think it's our last one. Yeah, this is a really cool one. Do you want to do this one? This is a neat story, and I think it's exciting because we don't always get the opportunity to share things that are so, I think, close to our hearts and close to Indian people.
So restoring the cultural importance of healing and healing of horses. So the thunder of hundreds of horses running on the plains above the Nisqually River once signaled the Nisqually tribe's prosperity prior to foreign settlement. The Treaty War of 1855 stripped the tribe of many of their horses. Then in 1918, I believe, Perce County seized more than 300 acres from the Nisqually Reservation via condemnation to create Fort Lewis, dispossessing hundreds of Nisqually people of their homes and land to raise horses. Tribal members were scattered far and wide, and many of the intimate relationships with the horses were lost. So today, the tribe is honoring Chief Leshy and his brother Quimuth, both renowned horsemen, and the Nisqually legacy of horsemanship by acquiring land and horses to restore that close relationship. Horses aren't a job, they are a lifestyle, said Kiana Klomp, the general manager of the tribe's 68-acre ranch adjacent to the Nisqually Reservation, just southeast of Elm. Klomp helped start the ranch, which has grown from a couple of horses to 10 last summer. He is Nisqually, Northern Cheyenne tribal member. He grew up in horseways in Montana, and it's what we call the Red Road. No alcohol, no drinking, Kalama said. You ride and care for the horses. You participate in many long rides and contests with horses, such as roping and relays.
Wow.
So yeah, horses, like canoes, really come with distinctive vocabulary, songs, dances, bringing opportunities to resurrect the Nisqually language and customs.
Yeah, that's really cool. You know, oftentimes when we think about Native peoples and our horses, and I should say, when I say we, as far as that goes in mainstream America, people don't think of coastal tribes as having horses. They think of a lot of the plains tribes, and they think of, well, one thing is a lot of people here don't associate the Spokane tribe with horses. And a lot of that is due to having the horses taken or lost or whatever. And we were very strong horse culture for a long time. And to have that come back to the Nisqually people is really cool. They're making the efforts to make that reconnect their people. You know, the title of that article is Restoring the Cultural Importance and Healing of Horses. And that one came out of the Treaty Tribes Facebook page. So we'll leave the link to that. When I was over on the coast, I did some work with the Quileute tribe, had a 4-H program that they were actually teaching the Quileute kids over there formal techniques like the English trot and so forth. Those kids really loved those horses. And man, they had such a bond and connection, and they competed, and they got these big, huge ribbons, and they were really good at it. And so it's neat to see those kind of things. I hope that we can get something rolling like that around here. You know, we have had, so for those of you that don't know about the history of the Spokane tribe and our horses, we have a lot of relay races in this area, and we used to have a suicide race here. But back in 1858, we had, I've heard as little, depending on who tells the story, as few as 700 horses, as many as 900 horses of ours that were slaughtered along the Spokane River out by state line, Idaho there. And the river for 2 days, they said, ran red with the blood of our horses. And that was an act of genocide perpetrated on the Spokane tribe people and horses by Colonel George Wright and his people that came through. And the really sad part of that was that they didn't shoot they began shooting the horses, but then when they realized they were what they call wasting bullets on the horses, they were ordered to club the horses to death. And you could hear the horses' screams from that. And it's really sad. They left the bones out there, the bleached bones shimmering. And it's really sad. So I think that restoration, bringing the horses back, I know that we have equine therapist here in this area. That's a Coeur d'Alene. She's been doing some work. I have a video on her. Maybe I'll dig that out too, because I haven't shown that one in a while. But maybe I'll dig that out for one of our upcoming episodes, because that work I think is really important. People, they make that connection with some people strongly believe that it's in our DNA. So
speaking of DNA, strong connections in Indian country across the state. Chief Leshy, who they're honoring there at the Lummi Nation, was actually relatives to Kamiakin and Qualshan. We have brothers across the Cascade Curtain, right? Before we had horses, tribal people would run across the mountains in snowshoes. And then after we got horses, we traveled back and forth over the Cascade Mountains, particularly our warriors in times of need to help their brothers on the west side. Our Yakama warriors would travel across, and of course, we had Yakama warriors married into the Spokane tribe. And so brothers and sisters across the state stood together. So that horsemanship of the Chief Leshy is just a connection to our Yakama brothers and sisters. So real excited to see that story.
Yeah, that was really good. So we're about out of time. We appreciate you chiming in. We'll be back on Monday. So until then,
I have a shout out. I want to give a happy birthday shout out to Jerry Croshoe. Thank you, Jerry, for all the Gonas and the Gathering of Nations that you've been doing across our region, and the incredible work you did at EWU.
Yeah, that's great. That's happy birthday, Jerry. That's really cool. You also had another shout out that you wanted to, a birthday shout out to David Bean. Happy birthday to David Bean of the Puyallup tribe.
Right. Also, a local shout out. I want to give a shout out to Devonica Brown Eagle. Devonica is an incredible artist up there on the Kalispel Indian Reservation. She's a Spokane, and she makes beautiful skirts. And her children are, strung in the powwow circle, and winning dancers and just beautiful regalia. So a shout out to our sister Devonica Brown Eagle.
All right, cool. Well, I think that's about it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thanks once again for joining us, and we will see you on Monday.
So, Lemlem Sha'uhoi.